Let me ask you something. In today's world, with all the choices you and I have, jobs, places to live, even the people we can connect with, are we really free? We can travel where we want, post what we think, spend the money we earn. But deep inside, do we still feel tied down? Tied down by society's expectations, by the fear of failure, by our endless desire for more, or even by our own emotions. 2,000 years ago, the Stoics asked the same question, and their answer still echoes today. Real freedom doesn't live in the outside world, it lives inside you. Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher who started life as a slave, once said, "No one can make you a slave unless you make yourself a slave." Think about that. You can be chained physically and still be free in spirit, or you can live in a modern city surrounded by every convenience and still be a slave to craving, to fear, to other people's judgments. According to Stoicism, true freedom begins when you take back the power over your own mind, your thoughts, your emotions, your desires, so no outside circumstance can rob you of your inner peace. The Stoics drew a sharp line between two kinds of freedom. Outer freedom is what laws and society grant you, the right to move, to speak, to own property. Inner freedom is the power to stay steady no matter what life throws at you. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher emperor of Rome, ruled an empire while facing illness, betrayal, and loss. Yet in his meditations, he reminded himself, "Other people may act wrongly, but they cannot make me worse unless I let them." He knew the real seat of power is in your own attitudes and actions. Today, we can book a flight to another continent, enroll in any course, connect with millions of people from our phone. That doesn't guarantee we're free. We can still be chained by fear of losing our job, by endless comparisons on social media, by the urge to prove ourselves. Without inner training, freedom on the outside is just a shell over a mind controlled by outside triggers. At the heart of Stoicism lies the principle of control, the dichotomy of control. Some things are up to you, some things aren't. Up to you, your thoughts, your choices, your actions, your values. Not up to you, the weather, other people's bodies, other people's opinions, the ultimate outcome of your efforts. When you accept this distinction and focus only on what's truly yours to command, you lift an enormous weight of stress, fear, and anger off your back. That's the doorway to freedom. Imagine you're turned down for your dream job. You can't control the hiring manager's decision, but you can control your response. Learn from it, sharpen your skills, move on to a new opportunity. That's Stoic freedom, not the absence of hardship, but the power to choose your stance toward it. The Stoics saw powerful emotions, anger, fear, greed, as invisible chains. We think we're in charge, but most of the time they're driving us. Stoicism doesn't tell you to suppress or deny feelings. It trains you to see them clearly, to understand them, and not let them dictate your behavior. Epictetus told his students, "It's not events that upset us, but our judgments about them." When you shift your perspective, you stop being dragged around by your emotions. You become the one choosing your attitude. That's a subtle but mighty form of freedom. Picture a simple moment. Someone insults you. If you flare up, you've handed them the remote control to your emotions. If you recognize it's just words, breathe, and stay calm, you've kept control in your own hands. Every time you do that, you're practicing inner freedom. The Stoics believe that virtue is the only truly good thing. Wisdom, justice, courage, self-control. When you live by virtue, fear and craving lose their hold. You stop being scared of losing your stuff, your status, or people's approval, because you know your real worth is in your actions and your character. A person like that is free anywhere. Marcus Aurelius said, "Freedom is the tranquility of the soul." That calm comes when you act in line with your values and your reason. You could be stripped of power, exiled, misunderstood, but no one can take away your inner freedom. Practicing Stoicism today isn't about retreating from the world. It's about carrying a steady inner core into the middle of it. You can still work, love, and pursue goals, but you don't let outcomes or opinions shackle your spirit. Each time you open your phone and see someone doing better, instead of getting jealous or deflated, remember the principle of control. You can't control them, but you can control how you respond, what you learn, how you grow, and when to let comparisons go. That's a daily freedom exercise. When work or family pressures build, ask yourself, is this within my control? What part of it is mine to handle? That question helps you act thoughtfully instead of reacting automatically. Over time, you become calmer, freer. Real freedom isn't a one-time achievement, it's a practice. Every day you can train with small exercises. In the morning, ask, what's within my control today? During the day, watch your emotions and choices. At night, review yourself. Did I live by my values today? Those small habits steadily expand the space of freedom in your mind. You can also practice what the Stoics called negative visualization. Imagine losing what you have to teach yourself gratitude and loosen your grip. When you stop clinging, you're freer. True freedom, according to Stoicism, isn't getting whatever you want. It's not being a slave to what you want. When you master yourself, you're free in any circumstance. It's a long road. It takes daily training, watching your thoughts, separating what you can control, living by virtue, accepting reality. But the reward is a deeper, calmer, freer life. Whenever you feel chained by fear, desire, or judgment, remember Epictetus, a slave who was free, and Marcus Aurelius, an emperor who was humble and self-controlled. They never promised a life without hardship. They showed a path to freedom inside hardship, and that's the timeless power of Stoic philosophy.